August 27th, 2023, one exciting day in the Wrestling Canada. AEW is coming over to the United Kingdom and will be doing All In at Wembley Stadium. Now, as a Brit, I can't help but get a little bit carried away. I'm very excited for the show, and this video, I'm going to give you kind of a wish list of matches I want to see on the show. Now, do I expect them necessarily to happen? No, that's your quick disclaimer at the start of the video. It's not predictions necessarily, it's matches I want to see, but a lot of it is based of what we're seeing currently on AEW TV. Some matches have been thrown together, bit of fantasy booking. Let's go through it, and at the end of the video, make sure to let me know what matches you want to see take place at All In, and why not let me know what you think of my card in the comments below. So without further ado, let's kick things off with the AEW World Championship, MJF versus Adam Cole, baby. Let's be honest, I am loving the duo of these two. It's kind of been the best Can They Coexist storyline I've seen for years. The chemistry these two have together, Adam Cole of course recently going babyface, kind of flirting with the idea of MJF, kind of his heel tactics, and kind of thinking, do I want to go back there? It's a nice little subtle tease with MJF kind of getting a friend, if you want, as well, kind of, you know, seeing stuff in the middle, being almost like a likable douche. It's kind of interesting TV to see on a weekly basis, but at the same time, it's going to only be a short-term thing. As much as I would love to purchase a Better Than You Bebe t-shirt, I'm not doing it. I know this is only for the short term. The turn is going to happen. They're going to probably win the Blind Eliminator tournament. Then they'll probably go on for those tag team championships, and that's where it will all fall apart. And for me, All In is the perfect destination to make this match happen. Yes, you have All Out a week afterwards. I do get that. You can always do a rematch, maybe a stipulation match, up the stakes there, but here could be the original singles match between these two, and for me, I think it'd be a perfect main event for the show. And I do think as well that Adam Cole Bay is going to be so loud in Wembley. Moving over to Saturday nights and AEW Collision, I am going to go for CM Punk versus Jay White. They have shared the ring on a couple of occasions already, including the premiere show, and of course the Bullet Club Gold won on the second week against CM Punk, FTR and Ricky Starks. Whilst in the short term, CM Punk versus Samoa Joe could be the direction of what we're seeing on weekly TV, I hope long term when it comes to the big show that Jay White hasn't been lost in the shuffle and been taken away permanently from CM Punk, because when those two were in the ring together, well, not to put a pun here, but it was dynamite. Honestly, watching these two face to face, exchanging in the ring, I think a singles match will be fascinating to watch, and this could bring out the best work of Jay White that we've seen so far in All Elite Wrestling. So for me, I really hope CM Punk versus Jay White is a match they will do. I'm expecting a feud between Kenny Omega and Pac to resurface. Of course, Pac has been a long-time rival of Kenny Omega in the past, going back to the early days of AEW, but personally, I hope it's saved for All Out. It does make sense in a way to do it All In because, well, Pac being from the UK, but I'm actually going to separate these two because I think you could actually build Pac up a little bit. You could do Pac versus Kota Ibushi. That's right, the Golden Lover partner is now in AEW. Both are the 5th members for Blood and Guts. Why not make them as opponents for Wembley Stadium? I think Kota Ibushi would be a big attraction to come in for the crowd that have already purchased tickets as well, to get to see him perform. He's done electric work in the past as well. Pac, of course, being the hometown boy, well, not necessarily hometown boy, but home country boy, certainly could be quite popular amongst people there. I think that Pac versus Kenny, although it would be an interesting dynamic on that show, I would save it for All Out because that's when they're their big first pay-per-view match back in 2019. But what would I do with Kenny Omega instead, you ask? It's got to be the trilogy. Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay. Do it for the IWGP United States Championship one more time. We've seen it at Wrestle Kingdom, we've seen it at Forbidden Door. There's only one stage you can make this trilogy happen, take place, and feel the biggest possible. For me, it's Wembley Stadium. Also, to get Will Ospreay on that show, it is a must. Being such a big capacity in Wembley Stadium, Will Ospreay being from the UK, being from Essex as well, him versus Omega for me one more time is a must-see on All In. To think we got to the 5th match and I've not even mentioned John Moxley. I would like to see Moxley versus Eddie Kingston. We've seen these two intertwined once again. The emotion of Eddie Kingston always brings out the best in storylines. For me, he's actually defended John Moxley, even though he hates John Moxley siding with Claudio Castagnoli. For me, I just want to see the storyline play out further once again. I'd like to see a singles match at All In. For me, I think it could be billed as probably Eddie Kingston's biggest match of his career if they want to go down that way. But of course, John Moxley, I suppose, would be a heavy favourite. For me, it's just one of those sort of blood feuds that's never going to finish. These two do magical work when they're actually around each other. So for me, I think it'd be a very fitting match to do at Wembley Stadium. Let's move on to AEW's women's division. And of course, we have the AEW Women's World Championship. Now, this does depend if someone is fit and healthy and ready to go. But of course, the big match, if you're going to do it, Toni Storm against Jamie Hayter. Both have a lot of history. Of course, during the pandemic, they were actually spending time together in the United Kingdom. Of course, now both under the AEW banner. Of course, Toni Storm the heel, though, with the Outcasts. And of course, Jamie Hayter has been teaming up with Britt Baker for the longest time. And of course, Jamie Hayter was a fantastic AEW Women's World Champion. If she hadn't have got herself hurt and injured, would she still be champion now going into Wembley? That's a big question that could be asked. But with these two, the history that they've got, being in the United Kingdom together, being two fantastic wrestlers and always putting on some of the best matches we've seen in the women's division in AEW, it only makes sense for me to do this match one more time in Wembley Stadium. Not to ignore the TBS Championship, Kris Statlander, I've got a freeway planned for her. Look, we need to have Saraya on this card, of course, for her to have a hometown coming as well, coming back to England to have a match I think would be amazing for her in Wembley Stadium. Britt Baker, that storyline seems to not go away anytime soon, so let's have a triple threat. Let's do a freeway for this championship. Perhaps Baker and Saraya may cancel each other out, and that could be a way that Kris Statlander could retain the championship. Keeping things UK, and of course, well, from Forbidden Door, Zack Sabre Jr. was in-house, and of course, he had a little bit of a rivalry starting with Orange Cassidy. Let's revisit that. Let's do that match here for everybody. I think that'd be a great opener for this show as well, because Orange Cassidy's done some great work as the international champion against Zack Sabre Jr. as well, one of the best technical wrestlers in the world. Yes, please give us that on a plate. I think it'd be absolutely awesome. Next, I've gone with Sammy Guevara versus Chris Jericho. Now, we're not sure what journey Chris Jericho is on at the minute. Will he be a face? Will he be a heel? Will he be aligned with Don Callis or not at this point? Will he turn his back on the JAS? Someone like Sammy Guevara has wanted to see the good ways recently. He's sort of almost been a bit of a babyface coming out of the program from Double or Nothing with MJF, and it felt like he was going to break away from Chris Jericho. The storyline felt like it was starting. It seems to have cooled off just for the minute, but I think if Chris Jericho really does walk away from the JAS, that could be the perfect excuse, especially if Jericho remains heel, to push Sammy as full-on babyface and finally make this program happen. The Sex Gods, of course, they've been together as a team almost the whole way through of AEW, through the Inner Circle as well. There was a lot of history to play off of, and for me, I think this is a big potential of being a breakout moment for Sammy Guevara if he could pick up the W. Of course, I mentioned All Out as a week after, so there's a possible chance that this match will be safe for that show. But for me, I'd love to see it here. And you can't imagine Chris Jericho not wanting to do a big time match at Wembley Stadium as well, with everyone screaming Judas as well. Can you tell the excitement that is coming from me right now? And excitement will keep on coming as we go towards tag team wrestling. I'll start with the Trios Championships. House of Black I have against Hangman Adam Page and the Young Bucks. Of course, they were Ring of Honor 6-man tag team champions back in the day, and of course, as the Elite recently as well, doing work together. I think it'd be good just to have them involved in this match here against the House of Black, who, let's be fair, are dominant Trios champions at this point. Of course, they won the championships from the Bucks and Kenny Omega, so there is some history there, an excuse to try and win those championships back, but this time with Hangman Adam Page, certainly a match I would like to see. Unfortunately, there is so many tag teams and I need to get them on the card somehow. I'm putting 4 teams in one match here. FTR defending those tag team championships against the Acclaimed. We need to get them on this show. Can you imagine a rap from Max Caster in Wembley and the Scissor Me stuff going on? It would be glorious to see. As well as that, let's put in the match the Lucha Bros, because let's be fair, they're freaking awesome and I'd love to see what they'll be doing at Wembley. And as well as that, Sting and Darby Allin. They've been a team and they've never gone for the tag team titles. Just seems a bit strange to me. So come on, let's give them a tag team title shot. Next, let's talk about former tag team champions and now foes. A year in the making, this feud. Keith Lee versus Swerve Strickland, because Keith Lee didn't want to become a heel when he was a part of that team with Swerve. They eventually lost the tag team titles. Their heel turn, of course, solidified the fact that this team was broken up, and then, well, we've been waiting for a while. This match hasn't happened, has it? Let's do it at Wembley. Keith Lee has had chance after chance recently to showcase how awesome he is once again. Swerve Strickland, I'm not sure about the stable. I'm not as fully invested in it as I once was, but in ring, an incredible talent. And to be fair, this match needs to happen. When these two are together, they create magic. I think at Wembley, it would be an awesome showcase match to see. Speaking of showcase matches, Ricky Starks versus Jungle Boy Jack Perry. To be fair, I just need to get them both on the show. I think it'd be an awesome match to see them against one another. I don't think it's a match we've seen in AEW before. And there you have it. That's my wish list, if you will, for AEW All In. What do you reckon of this card? Is it a match card that you would like to see? Let me know in the comments below right now. And if it's not, what matches do you want to see alternatively? Maybe you want to see Kenny Omega versus Pac. Maybe you want to see less New Japan stars. Maybe some Rev Pro, maybe from the English indie scene could be involved in this. Maybe a casino battle royale to showcase some stars that can't get on this, so everybody gets on the card. Think about a poor Kip Sabian, of course, will be returning to the UK as well. I've not actually featured him on this card. It would be fun to see him on the show in some capacity, even if it was, say, a buy-in match, if you will. But if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like it, hit the subscribe button as well, hit the bell as well, so you're notified each and every time a new video is released. Like I say, drop a comment below as well. I look forward to interacting with you. Check out the videos on the side of your screen right now. Thank you for watching. As always, you've been watching SCW here on YouTube, and well, you can tell I'm buzzing. I'm excited for AEW All In. Are you? Let me know right now. Thanks for watching.